A weekend in Vegas used to feel like living like a king, even if you showed up broke. But now those days are disappearing faster than anyone expected. Right now, the Strip is being rebuilt into a billionaire's playground, and the people who kept this city alive, you, the regular visitor, are being pushed out. What's happening behind the neon isn't just changing the price of your vacation, it's changing who this city is even for. We're counting down why Vegas is only for rich people now. And by the time we hit number 1, you'll see why so many people say Vegas has already lost its soul. 10. The vanishing locals discounts. Vegas used to take care of its own. If you lived in the Valley, you could flash your Nevada ID, and suddenly doors opened. Cheap buffets, half-price show tickets, even free perks at casinos. It was the city's way of saying, this is your home too. But now, even locals can't afford to play in their own backyard. Discounts have dried up, prices match the Strip, and many longtime residents say they feel shut out of the very city they helped build. And here's the thing, when the locals can't afford Vegas anymore, it's not just a tourist problem. It's a sign of something bigger collapsing. And that collapse becomes crystal clear when you look at who's really running the Strip today. 9. Corporate takeover of the Strip. Once upon a time, Vegas was defined by personality. The quirky owners, the themed hotels, the family-run casinos. They gave the Strip its soul. You had Benny Binion running the Horseshoe with his cowboy hat and handshake deals, the Stardust dazzling with neon, and Treasure Island launching pirate battles every night on the Strip. It was wild, it was unpredictable, and it was uniquely Vegas. But today, those neon landmarks have been bulldozed and replaced with glass towers owned by mega corporations. Decisions aren't made in smoky back rooms anymore. They're made in boardrooms in New York, and investment firms like Blackstone, MGM Resorts, and Caesars Entertainment control the majority of the Strip, creating a landscape of sameness where every casino feels like a franchise, not an experience. The Stardust is gone, the Riviera imploded, the Sahara stripped of its charm. Even quirky spots like the Luxor and Excalibur are being dethemed, polished into something bland to appeal to a higher-end demographic. And with that shift comes a new business model. Not generosity, not fun, but squeezing every last dollar out of visitors. Vegas has stopped selling magic, it's selling brands. The mom and pop spirit of Vegas has been erased by Wall Street, and the Strip is starting to feel more like an airport terminal than an escape from reality. And if you think the casinos are bad, just wait until you see what they've done to the pool scene. 8. The $200 day club sunbed. In the old days, the pool was one of the great equalizers in Vegas. You could wander down in your flip-flops, grab a chair, maybe slip the attendant a few dollars for a better spot, and then spend the whole day soaking in the desert sun with a cheap cocktail in hand. It wasn't about luxury, it was about fun, community, and that shared sense that you were all in Vegas together, no matter your budget. But now, welcome to the era of the day club. The pool isn't an escape anymore, it's an event. A simple lounge chair will run you $200, and that's on a slow day. If you want a prime sunbed closer to the water, expect $500 or more before you even think about ordering food or drinks. Cabanas can climb into the thousands, complete with bottle minimums. What used to be an open, carefree atmosphere has been transformed into a velvet, roped playground where DJs spin, promoters guard entrances, and the price of admission alone feels like a week's rent. And here's the kicker, you're not even in the pool yet, and you're already broke. The pool, once the everyman's refuge from the Strip, has been turned into another status symbol. And as crazy as that sounds, it's only the beginning of how Vegas is transforming its spaces to lock out the average visitor. Because next you'll see how the casinos themselves are changing into something unrecognizable. 7. Casinos turning into shopping malls. Remember when the casino floor was the star of Vegas, the sounds of quarters spilling from slot machines, the cheers around a hot craps table, the energy that made you feel alive the moment you walked in? That was the heartbeat of the Strip. But walk through today, and you'll notice something strange. The gambling is being pushed to the sidelines. While luxury retail now takes center stage, entire wings of hotels are no longer about play. They're about shopping. Gucci, Prada, Rolex, Louis Vuitton. What used to be rows of blackjack tables and penny slots have been replaced by boutique storefronts and designer showcases. The Mirage used to wow guests with a volcano erupting out front. Today, the big spectacle is a line of luxury brands competing for the wealthiest visitors' attention. Vegas has gone from slot machines and fun to becoming the world's most expensive shopping mall. For everyday visitors, it feels like the Strip has lost its focus. You didn't fly to the desert to buy a $5,000 handbag. You came to gamble, to escape, to play. But that's not who these spaces are built for anymore. They're not designed for casual tourists or budget gamblers. They're designed for international high-end shoppers with money to burn. But if you think shopping took over the casinos, wait until you see what's happening outside the Strip, because entire stadiums are reshaping the city. 6. Sports stadiums pushing out gamblers. Vegas was built on gambling. For decades, the heartbeat of the city was the casino floor, the clink of quarters, the cheer at a hot table, the smell of cheap cigars and comped drinks. But today, the city is rebranding itself as a sports capital. The Raiders were brought in from Oakland with a brand new $2 billion stadium. The Golden Knights gave the Strip its first NHL team. And now Formula One has turned Las Vegas Boulevard into a global raceway. On the surface, this sounds exciting. Sports fans flocking to town, international headlines, more reasons to visit. But for the everyday gambler, this shift comes at a cost. Hotel prices soar during game weekends, restaurant bills surge, and even locals who never step foot inside the stadiums feel the squeeze. One Raiders game can double the cost of a hotel room. A hockey playoff series drives restaurants to raise prices across the board. And Formula One, well, that's a whole different level of disruption. The casino floors sit emptier on game days, not because Vegas is dying, but because the city's energy is being pulled away from the tables and into the stadiums. Vegas is no longer built around the gambler, it's built around the high-dollar sports fan with deep pockets. And nothing proves that more than what happened when the following event came to town. 5. Formula One's billionaire effect. When Formula One arrived in Vegas, it was pitched as the event of the decade, a glamorous global spectacle that would showcase the Strip like never before. But what actually happened left many locals and longtime visitors furious. For months leading up to the race, entire sections of the Strip were torn apart by construction. Traffic slowed to a crawl, sidewalks were fenced off, and the city that once prided itself on being 24/7 accessible suddenly felt like a private club under renovation. When race weekend finally came, the financial shock was even worse. Basic hotel rooms that usually went for $150 shot into the thousands per night. Restaurants doubled and tripled their menu prices. Even casual bars slapped on event fees just to walk through the door. And unless you had the right ticket or the right bank account, many of the best views of the race were completely blocked off. One local said it best. It felt like the Strip wasn't ours anymore, it was theirs. For the wealthy, Formula One delivered champagne, yachts parked at temporary pools, and million-dollar parties. For everyone else, it was chaos, inconvenience, and a city that seemed to openly admit, if you're not rich, you don't matter. The city literally reshaped itself for billionaires, and the people who built Vegas, the gamblers, the tourists, the locals, were left on the outside looking in. And that message carries over into the nightlife too. Because what used to be free with a flyer on the sidewalk now costs the price of a paycheck. 4. VIP only. Nightlife. Vegas, nightlife used to be simple. You'd walk the Strip. A promoter would hand you a flyer or put your name on a list, and suddenly you were inside. No cover charge, no minimums. The only cost was how late you wanted to stay out. And the magic was that everyone, whether you were a high roller or a broke college kid, could dance under the same lights. But those days are gone. Today's club scene has transformed into a velvet rope empire where exclusivity is the main attraction. The only way past the line isn't charm or luck, it's money. Entry-level tables start at $600. Premium booths can climb into the thousands. And that doesn't even include the bottles of vodka or champagne you're required to buy. For the average visitor, the kind who used to slip in with a flyer and dance till sunrise, the doors are now closed. The wild, carefree spirit that once defined Vegas nights, the idea that anyone could walk in and be part of the party, has been replaced with status symbols, doormen with clipboards, and a very clear message. If you're not dropping a paycheck, you're not wanted. What was once a shared experience is now a private playground for the wealthy few. And that sense of being excluded doesn't stop at the club doors. It's seeping into the casino floor itself. Because even if you skip the nightlife, the casinos themselves aren't the safe bet they used to be. 3. Casinos tightening the odds. Here's something most visitors don't realize. The house edge has grown sharper. The days of looser slots and fair odds are gone. In the past, you could find blackjack tables offering the classic 3-2 payout, a fair return that kept the game fun for small stakes players. Today, many casinos have swapped that for a stingier 6-5, which may not sound like much, but it's a huge cut into your chances of winning over time. And it's not just blackjack. Slots that once returned around 95% in payouts have been tightened, making those frequent little wins, the ones that kept you spinning, far less common. The thrill of stretching $20 into hours of entertainment has all but vanished. Even the comps system has changed. Vegas used to shower players with perks, free buffets, discounted rooms, and drinks on the house. Now, it's all about your player rating in an app, and unless you're spending heavily, don't expect much back. Vegas doesn't reward loyalty. It punishes low rollers. It's not just that the city costs more, it's that it gives back less. The painful twist is this: Vegas isn't just more expensive to play, it's harder to win. The dream of beating the house has been replaced by the reality that the odds are stacked higher than ever before. And if you thought at least you could still sleep in Vegas on a budget, think again. 2. The disappearance of budget Vegas. Hotels. For decades, Vegas worked because it balanced the high end with the low end. You could stay at the Bellagio or the Venetian if you wanted the luxury treatment. But you could also check into Circus, the Tropicana, or the Sahara and still be part of the magic of the Strip. That balance made Vegas special. Everyone had a place, no matter their budget. But one by one, those options are disappearing. The Riviera was imploded. The Stardust is gone. The Tropicana, a landmark since 1957, is closing its doors. Circus, once a family-friendly staple, is fading into irrelevance. And the Sahara has struggled through multiple rebrands to stay alive. In their place, rise more mega towers built for the high-end traveler, with rooms and restaurants priced to match. That cheap but cheerful Vegas weekend, it's vanishing. What's left is a city that feels more exclusive than ever before. Locals say the Strip isn't for middle America anymore. It's for business travelers, high rollers, and the global wealthy. Sure, you can still find cheaper rooms downtown on Fremont Street, but the Strip, the beating heart of Las Vegas, has pushed out budget travelers entirely. The middle-class Vegas experience, once the city's lifeblood, is on life support. And with it, the very idea that the Strip belongs to everyone is slipping away, which brings us to the final blow, the moment where Vegas stopped being ours at all. 1. The Strip isn't for tourists anymore. Here's the hardest truth of all: the Strip isn't built for tourists anymore. For generations, Vegas was the great equalizer. It didn't matter who you were, the broke college kid splitting a cheap room with friends, the honeymoon couple stretching their budget, the retiree feeding quarters into a slot. Everyone got to play. Everyone had a chance to feel like royalty for a weekend. That was the soul of Vegas. The fantasy that no matter your background, this city was yours. But today, that dream has been dismantled. Velvet ropes divide the clubs, bottle service defines who gets in, and entire events are designed for billionaires arriving on private jets. The everyday traveler, you're not in the picture. The hotels, restaurants, even the sidewalks during Formula One year, for a class of visitor the average tourist can't compete with. Vegas has changed its DNA from a playground for everyone to a gated community for the ultra-rich. And here's the tragedy: Vegas isn't collapsing because the lights went out or because the casinos are empty. It's collapsing because the soul of the city, the inclusivity, the accessibility, the chance for anyone to live big for a weekend is gone. The Vegas that belonged to everyone has been replaced by a brand new city that belongs to only a few. And for millions of longtime visitors, the dream of Sin City isn't just fading, it's slipping away for good.